Bossman show. We're here with Coach Mike Jones of the Radford Highlanders out of the Big South Conference. Coach Jones, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great, JR. How are you?
Hey, Coach, I can't complain. Glad basketball's back here. You got off in a week's time, man. So I'm excited for everybody involved, man.
You and me, I can't believe it's here, but I'm definitely ready.
Yes, indeed, Coach. You're heading into year 9 at Radford, Coach. So I'm going to ask you, what your greatest accomplishment in your mind since you've been at Radford these past 9 years since 2011?
Well, good question. I think the best accomplishment for our program has been that we've made ourselves relevant. When we first got here, we were the bottom of the league, and now we've kind of flipped that, and now we're up near the top and at least competing for championships for the last couple of years, and we want to try to continue that, and that's something that I think we're all proud of and that we're all striving for, is to come into each season with a team and with a mentality of winning a championship, and that's where we think we are right now. We'd like to stay there.
And speaking of that, you guys tied for first place last year in Big South to play. So I know you guys want to go to the big dance, but what did you prioritize this offseason with your players and your staff for how to get better and get over the hump this season coming up?
Well, I mean, the big the most important thing that we have to get right this year is just paying attention to the details. We're certainly talented enough to be one of the better teams and to compete for a championship, but we have to really take care of the details, because the margin for between wins and losses is very small, and we have to be able to control the things that we can control. Being sound defensively with our rotations, with all the little things that go into being a good defensive team, and even especially with rebounds and being able to do that, enough to complete the possession. So those things are really, really important on the one end. On the other end, we've got a couple of terrific all-conference guards, and we need to have a deep group of guards that can kind of carry us through. But we're fortunate that we have the leadership and the experience that we have at the guard position, and we just want to be able to do that consistently night in and night out.
And, Coach, like you said, the big thing is for you guys is also coming to conference tournament in March there, that you all play your best peak February in the March there to win that tournament, to get the punch that ticket. Don't have to worry about maybe an at-large bid, just so you can know you've got it by winning that tournament. So having the leadership, having those older guys who've been through the wars and the fires will help during that time of year coming up in February and March there.
Sure, for sure. That is certainly the most important part of the year for us. I mean, as good as we want to be throughout the year, for us, it's a build-up. It's a steady incline from the beginning of the year to the end, because with our league, typically it's a one-bid league. It's only going to be one team going to, get a chance to go to the NCAA tournament, the team that wins the conference tournament, and you need to be playing your best ball going into that conference, or at least have a team that's capable, even if you have to regroup because you lost a couple at the end. You want to be primed and ready to go for that tournament, because that's the main thing that gets you where you want to go.
And, Coach, talking about something you said, after my first question I asked you is about how you built this program from the bottom up. I feel like you're a great example for different programs, AD, managers, to say, hey, look at how Radford was built, having the same coach for going on 9 years to build it up the right way. Like so many ADs trigger and fire a coach and give him a chance to build it from the ground up. If it's a bottom program, when you fired a coach, something was wrong. So you need to be corrected. So you have to correct the issue and build a program up to where it needs to be, kind of like how you've done at Radford. I feel like more ADs took the example of Radford, it would be successful and fire coaches all the time, in my opinion.
Hey, obviously, I agree with that philosophy. We were fortunate in that we had an AD who was a basketball coach, so he kind of understands, sitting in the chair that I'm in, what kind of decisions go into that, and he understands how difficult it is to go from where we were when we first took over the program, being on probation, having less than the full allotment of scholarships, having to rebuild a from the from ground up. He understands that, and so that's why I think he was able to see that it was going to take, the time that it took. And so I was fortunate. Not everybody is fortunate. A lot of ADs, are business guys, and they're about that bottom line of, bringing in this money. And so if the team's not successful in 3 years, then they're looking to make a change for someone who can, jumpstart something. And I was fortunate to have an old school coach who had a basketball background who kind of understood things. But if you look historically, coaches like John Wooden, he didn't win away. His AD gave him, time and game, arguably the coach of all time. Now you got Mike Krzyzewski, who was on the verge of, had a lot of, hot seat going into year 6 and 7 before he will to his ride. It takes time to be a coach. It takes time to build a good program, and fortunately for me, I had an AD who understood that. And
what's time about the strength? It was up here and we got this names. These first guys never go for his season.
Last year when I transfer who came in, who we did 1 year, was I was players, but you don't have to be concept was really special. Travis East cheerleaders are starting to really at home for the country. I'm very fortunate because they're kind of and they're they doing the bishop from Shire. I want to they work hard to either work on in the game, we want to play B college, and professional, and say are still hungry, still driving together, and so forth. And our 2 years, the most experienced, most happy are hungry, they're better than the guys are them. And we're really good spring, summer, and fall. Way back in 9 years we've been here. You guys are of the year, but a lot more into this room. The continue to yield it. We put it so far away they are going to the year.
And what you all being good coach and you having an older someone who helps you out on recruit getting guys to join the program, join what you have with there. How's the recruit been going? How's it market yourself going? You all track record being good now.
Yeah, it's exciting. It really is. When we first got here, you can get anybody to be interested in rap basketball, and now when you name, I know you guys have won championship the last couple of years. You've been good. It's easier to have that conversation and have that new interest. So it's been a big boost for anytime you can. You're selling a winning program. People want to be a part of that, and they want to, listen to what you have to say. And so that's where we are right now with our program, which is exciting. And then when you add into the fact that now we've got every kid wants to play in the NBA and every kid wants to be pro, well, we can offer that as well because we've had a number of guys in the last 4 years, 12 or 13 of them, in fact, that have gone on to play in the professional ranks with now, somebody who's gone and played in the best and most visible pro league, the country NBA, which is the Green Bay and the Celtics. So we got a lot going for us right now, and we just want to continue, to be humble and to work hard, but also to continue to try to attract the young men that we need, to have the kind of success we have.
Speaking of John Green coach, how's the coach set up in your program? How was the coach this guy? How happy are you as his coach that he made this 15 man there?
Man, I tell you what, he and I both talked about it last night. It's like, nothing but tears. Just happy for him, happy for his family, happy for, the opportunity for him to take care of, his daughters in a way that, a lot of people aren't able to take care of them. So I couldn't be happier for a person than I am for Wu and what he's been able to accomplish. I said, when you were in the league didn't even vote you best player, ever during 4 years that you were there.
Wow.
And yet you never let that bother you. You instead kept said, that's what makes me hungry. That's what allows me to be successful because I'm always, the underdog. And that's kind of how I am as a person. I'm not one of the guys who, is in the Carolina family of coaching or anything like that. I just got to, work and be hungry and try to earn what I get. And those are the kind of players I recruit. And he's certainly one of those players that, remains hungry and fights for everything that he gets. And so, you root for people like that to have the success that he's had. And so for him to make it to the highest level in basketball is just unbelievable.
And Coach, I see your non-conference schedule here. You got go to Northwestern, Mississippi State as well. You got some quality mid-major matches as well. So what's the plan schedule like that do for you as you get ready for that Big South play? And how does it also help for push the Radford brand and get the brand in different markets as people say, okay, we may give Radford a try here?
Well, I tell you what, when you do win championships and you do have the success we've had in the last few years, it's harder to get games. It makes it very difficult. So we definitely, our schedule reflects the difficulty it is in getting the kind of games we want, whether it's at home or on the road. So this is probably the hardest schedule we've had in the 9 years that we've been here. And, when you look at it, there are not a lot of, names, that draw your attention in terms of, the Kentuckys and Dukes and the Carolinas. But what it is a bunch of quality basketball teams. Bradley made the tournament last year. They have a lot of people back. I mean, they're a very underrated team. They're going to be, a bear to play. Obviously Mississippi State is one of the most talented teams in the SEC. But then You look at somebody like a Liberty. Liberty is probably a top 25 in some magazines. I've seen them, top 25. They're a top 30 program for sure. We open up, we've had some success against them the last couple of times, so they're hungry to beat us. And you look at UNCG, who won 28 games last year. They return a lot, including an NBA prospect in Isaiah Miller. So they're going to be tough. Georgia Southern on their home court is almost impossible to beat. I mean, the list goes on and on. Duquesne, Keith Dambrot's one of the most underrated coaches in the country. I mean, the list is just endless. And so by the time we get to league play, man, we could be battered and bruised. But hopefully we'll, have competed and put ourselves in a position to compete in the Big South, which I think is also a very underrated league.
Yeah, give you some of that good callus there. Get them harden up a little bit. Get them
That's right.
Before they hit that Big South slate there.
Maybe too much callus, We might have too much callus by the time we get there. I hope. We did it with the mentality that, hey, if we can survive it, and not just survive it, but maybe win a couple that people didn't expect us to win, it can prepare us for a really tough Big South Conference.
I hear that. Well, Coach Jones, thank you for your time as always, Coach. Look forward to seeing what you guys do, man, this year. And I'll definitely be calling you up, man, because about around January, check on your team, man, to see how that callus is going for you guys, for sure.
Sounds good, man. It's always a pleasure, man. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Coach. Have a good one, man.
All right, you too.
All right, that's Mike Jones on the Bossman Show, people.
For all your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service.
Hey there, your yard took a real beating this summer. Luckily, Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard has your back. Just feed your grass with Scott's again this fall when the air is cool and the soil is warm. It's the perfect time to give your lawn a boost. If you do, Winter Guard will give your yard the nourishment it needs to help weak, thin grass recover and support root growth, giving you a greener, more resilient lawn both now and next spring. Guaranteed. Grab a bag of Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard today. You'll be back to barbecuing in no time. This is a Scott's Yard.
Hey parents, we all try to be extra careful with our children in the car, but then we get an important call or text. Remember, our children are watching. Make every drive a good example. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our teen driver safety program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
Hello, my name is Travis Williams, President and CEO of Academics and Athletic Consulting, focusing on educating and empowering tomorrow's collegiate athletic leaders. My passion is for the education and genuine concern and care for today's student athlete. It's the centerpiece of my life's work. A college education, both in and out of the classroom, is a truly rewarding benefit. For more information on AAC, you can go to www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Once again, www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Academics and Athletic Consulting, or Twitter at Coach TWill24, or Instagram Travis L. Williams 24. Or you can call me at 404-542-6079. Once again, AAC is very proud to partner with J.R. McHenry of the Bossman Radio Show, covering sports and entertainment across the country. Please tune in weekly for informative, entertaining, and expert analysis on today's sports and entertainment topics. Thank you.
Played UTEP this past week. What are the keys of beating that UTEP team? They had a tough year so far, but keeping your team focused, not falling into that trap, kind of like how Wisconsin did against Illinois, keeping your team focused and winning the game against UTEP at home there.
Yeah, after we had our open date, we spent a lot of time analytically looking at the things that we were doing good, things that we thought that maybe we weren't doing as well as we needed to. which of those could we fix and which could we just absolutely get rid of. And I think, coming out of that, we've had 3 good weeks. We worked an awful lot on the running attack. 2 weeks ago, we had 350 yards rushing. James Morgan, our quarterback, I think is going to be one of the, he's going to be one of the first 2 days draft choices in the National Football League. Great, super smart guy. So what we've tried to do from an offensive standpoint is build, an offense that's, that's two-dimensional. You don't want to be one-dimensional, just rely on passing or running. And so the last 3 weeks we've been doing that. Defensively, we were a young football team, coming into this season from a defensive standpoint. And we had a lot of brand new guys playing at linebacker, some new guys playing in the defensive line. And they're getting better every single week. And, in this conference, you see an awful lot of different kinds of things. So it takes some time to get that kind of experience. But, we got a heck of a challenge this week against Middle Tennessee. They're a very good, well-coached football team with a lot of talent.
Yes, indeed. Coach Stockstill's been over 14 years, and he's been probably the longest coach in the conference for has been there, for has been in one place. So that's a tough place to play at Florida Stadium in Murfreesboro. So what we're going to tell your team is keep them focused as you go up there on that business trip to Murfreesboro to play Coach Stockstill and those Blue Raiders up there.
Rick's a very, very good football coach. I knew him when he was at Florida State, obviously out in Middle Tennessee. Like you said, he's been there for 14 years. He's built a good program. He's good, it's sound, they're well coached. And every year, it's going to be a very, very big challenge when you play them because they're multi-dimensional offensively. The quarterback's a very, very good athlete. The running game is good defensively. They're one of the biggest challenges probably in Conference USA from the standpoint that they do a variety of different things. They'll show you different looks, different blitzes, different things, and they change it up quite a bit. So your offensive line, your quarterback, and everybody's got to be on the same page protection-wise. So it takes an awful lot of film study to try to make sure that you're prepared and ready to go on Saturday.
Yes, indeed. And, having young men as you've been there in year 3 for you, young men already know your checks, know your audibles. So the guys who are juniors and seniors, the veterans, kind of help the young guys kind of get up to speed about how to deal with Coach Stockstill and what they have going on in Middle Tennessee. Like you said, it's very dynamic. It can change it up for each week to week, even quarter to quarter, or series to series up there.
Yeah, and that was one of the biggest things. We lost 4 offensive linemen last year. There were seniors that helped us get to those 9 wins and win the bowl game. And so, breaking in some new kids this year in the offensive line, people that know much about football, from the offensive line perspective, to get 5 guys to work together because the communication, they've got to communicate, talk back and forth. They got to be on the same page, whether it's run plays or protection. And, we had some growing pains early in the season. Hopefully, we've gotten better, over the last 7 games, and over the last 5 games, they'll continue to improve.
And I know, Coach Davis, your program, Florida National, can be a landing spot for guys from Miami, Florida State, or Florida who want a second chance, or UCF who want a second chance. Especially you all been successful in your 3rd year, that I feel like you'll be a good spot for guys who want to play in a good conference, get some playing time, and still make the NFL by playing in a quality program like yours for a coach who knows how to breed pro players like yourself.
Well, Jared, one of the things that's a little bit different than previously, yes, absolutely. We are looking for talented players in South Florida, but we're going all over the United States. We've got starters from South Carolina, from Virginia. We've got 2 starters from Georgia. We've got kids from Texas. We've got kids from Oklahoma. Having coached, at the University of Miami and North Carolina and the places I've been, we're going after the high-profile guys that can help you, build a program when you got a chance to go 14-0. And so, we're not just, totally, stuck where we're just completely going to recruit only kids from the state of Florida. If there's really outstanding kids, we're going to go and try to get in the hunt, try to fight kind of kids. And like I said, we've got kids from multiple states, and they've come in and they've been a great addition to the program. And I think that you'll see several of those kids and the kids from Florida, you'll see them playing on Sundays in the NFL in the next couple of years.
And Coach Davis, in Conference USA, people don't realize it spans from El Paso to Norfolk, Virginia. So it's a lot of real estate in between those 2 locations to recruit nationally, because it kind of is Conference USA, right? So you can recruit all over the South and up to the Mid-Atlantic there and find great talent.
Right. Well, and one of the things too, obviously, is that we really feel like that we've got a lot of things to sell. Unbelievably, fantastic weather in South Florida is a great thing. The university just recently, Jr., was recognized in Forbes magazine as one of the top 100 universities in the United States. And so, with having great success with our kids graduating with a high profile, we've got a law school, med school, atmospheric, marine biology, and every single business school. I mean, international businesses is one of the great things that we have here to offer. So kids that come down and are looking for great education and a great opportunity to play, with some great players and great coaches and stuff, this has been a pretty good deal for kids to take a look at.
And coach, I'm asked about Georgia specifically. Did your staff spend a lot of time in the Atlanta area and a lot of here in Georgia trying to find talent? Because a lot of talent here in Georgia. I see a lot of coaches here in town watch our high school football games here. So how much you all coming up this way to find players here?
You know what, JR, we started to go to a lot of the camps last summer. Georgia high school football, I've been recruiting in and out of there for probably over 25 years, and it has exploded. I mean, the growth of the state, the number of players. When I was an assistant coach for Jimmy Johnson, probably maybe in a great year, the state of Georgia would probably have maybe 35 to 50 Division I legitimate big time players. And now, they got multiple hundreds. There's 250, 300 kids every single year. And so, it's very good high school football. They're great programs. They have excellent coaches. And as the state's grown, it's produced an awful lot of very, very talented players. And like everybody else, you want to go in there and you want to dig around and try to find guys that make a great fit for your program. And we're going to continue to try to do that.
And what's good about our state coaches is, this is from recruiting, that there's a lot of transplants here in Georgia now, so it's not like homegrown Georgians. So kids are more willing to go out of state because they're not from here. So they're willing to go to Florida International and go enjoy the South Florida weather because they're not from the Georgia area. So they're like, okay, that's cool for us. Not too far from home, and we can go have a good education and play some good quality football as well.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a pretty good statement, to be honest with you, with a lot of states. I mean, certainly, a lot of people who live in Florida, they're not original. Their parents and their grandparents weren't originally here. They've migrated down from the Midwest and from the Northeast, and as they've subplanted themselves, they've got relationships with places. I think this past year, Joe, the state of Florida had, I think it was like 518 kids signed Division I scholarships this past year. So, there's 5 or 6 Division I schools in this state, and if you only take 25 of them, that means there's 250 of them that's got to leave the state. So a lot of kids, there's a lot of really good football here. There always has been, and both of these states, I think, the South, like a lot of people that go to high school football, the South high school football is still gigantic. There's a lot of pride. In Texas and Alabama and Georgia and South Carolina and Florida and Mississippi. I mean, Friday night's still super important, and so that makes it even more enticing to go out and try to look at kids in a lot of those high school programs.
And you're so right, coaches. Even on our station here, we have high school football on Friday nights that they play 2 games a night on Friday nights. So you're so right here that we have 2 different affiliations with high schools here on our station. So you're so right about it. Friday night lights is still rules in the South here for sure.
Yep, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Now, Coach, I know Jimmy Johnson was really key to your career. Who are some other coaches who really left an impact on you throughout your career that really made you the coach you are to today, which you're a great coach, actually, in my opinion, Coach?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Obviously, I think every coach would say that people that have impacts in their career and stuff. And clearly, obviously, coaching 15 years with Jimmy Johnson, I started my career as a high school coach in the state of Oklahoma, and Coach Johnson gave me an opportunity to go and be the recruiting coordinator, and I coached the wide receivers and the tight ends at that time at Oklahoma State, and turned that program around. Jimmy did a phenomenal job, and we had a really, really good season our last year there before we came to Miami, but the talent that we left there, I think they went 10 and 2 3 years in a row, and then obviously came to Miami and spent 5 years here, won a national championship, played for 2 other national championships, and then I was fortunate enough to go with Jimmy to Dallas and coached there. Built the program that won 3 Super Bowls. Jimmy gave me an opportunity to be defensive coordinator there, and we had number 1 defense in the National Football League, and I got a chance to come back to Miami to be the head coach. So, Jimmy was unbelievably. I was fortunate to be with him and to learn a lot of things. I played at the University of Arkansas for Frank Rules, one of the legendary college coaches, and his staff. Imagine, think about this. On the offensive side of the staff, while I was there, Joe Gibbs went on to win Super Bowls.
Oh, wow.
Redskins was the offensive line coach. Raymond Berry, he caught thousands of passes from Johnny Unitas, coached the wide receivers. Don Blow was the quarterback coach that was the offensive coordinator for, all the Joe Gibbs Redskins teams and stuff. All of those coaches, you learn something from all of those guys. Even guys that I coached with, they once when I was together at Oklahoma State, Miami, and Dallas. He went on to become the head coach of the Bears and the Dolphins. So you learn from people. Watching North Turner, as the offensive coordinator, as the Cowboys, when I was the defensive coordinator, sitting in the box, watching the way he game planned to use Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith. That had an impact on how I tried to build our offense at the University of Miami with Reggie Wayne and Jeremy Shockey and Santana Moss, Edgerrin James. We had tons and tons of kids. Watching those offensive coaches, Tony Wise is probably one of the best offensive line coaches I think I've ever seen on any level, high school, college, NFL. He's fantastic. So, I've been blessed. I've been fortunate to be around a lot of very, very good, talented coaches.
Well, Coach Davis, I've been a fan of yours for years. I'm only in my 30s, so I used to watch you when you was at Miami. So I know about those teams you had and getting to cover Reggie and Edgerrin and Willis McGahee, all those guys, and Shockey as well. Early in my career, it was really fun because I was a fan. I used to watch you guys play all the time. So getting to talk to you today is an honor for me. I'm a big fan of your work, and I'm happy you're at FIU doing great things there, Coach.
Well, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. And, as everybody that's ever been involved in sports, regardless of which sport that you actually get to coach, it's a blessing. It's a chance to make a difference in the lives of kids and help them get a college education and grow and mature. It's been a blessing, and I appreciate your compliments.
Yes, and Coach Davis, good luck. Best luck to you up there, Murfreesboro, this weekend. Hope to talk to you real soon, Coach Davis. I enjoyed this conversation with you. It was very fun.
Well, thank you very much, and hopefully you'll have me on again. We'll talk again sometime in the future.
Yes, indeed. I sure will, Coach. Have a great day now.
Thank you, Boss Man. Take care, man.
All right, that's Bush Davis on the Bossman Show.
Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Album is available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today. True Speech and 313 Fresh. Family Grind ENT. Believe in it. Get it.
A gorgeous tan from Suntan City gives you an inner glow that relights the fire when you run into your first crush.
Vicky, who was that?
An old boyfriend.
Lucky you just tanned at Suntan City.
Lucky he's single. We're doing lunch tomorrow.
Won't be single for long then.
During Tour of the City, try all 5 tans, including spray tan, for just $4.99. Restrictions may apply. Click to buy now.
Suntan City, let yourself shine.
When you're a teen, you finally get to make some of your own decisions. Who are you going to hang out with? What do you want to be? Are you going to glance at that text while driving? Remember, a split second is all it takes for something tragic to happen. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our teen driver safety program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
It's maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer.
Tell me what you gonna do to me. Confrontation ain't nothing new to me. You could bring a bullet, bring a sword, bring a morgue, but you can't bring the truth to me.
Alexa, play Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Okay. Maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
Yeah, it's your man JC, the host with the most, baby, and it goes down each and every Saturday night right here in the city of Memphis. That's right, y'all. It goes down at Clicks Sports Bar Memphis, baby. 3705 Malco Way, Memphis, Tennessee, 38125. Come out and join us, the Three Kings, each and every Saturday night for the livest karaoke in the city. Everybody gets in free till 10 p.m. Only $5 after. Great food. We got drink specials. We got all kind of games, man. We got the pool tables popping. Whatever you want, we got you, man. Come on out. Have a good time with us each and every Saturday night. That's Clicks Sports Bar, Memphis.
All right, back in the Jared the Bossman show here with Dayton Flyers head coach Anthony Grant with us once more. Coach Grant, how things over there in Dayton, man?
Everything's good, JR. Good to be back with you, man.
Yes, indeed. Well, I know you was at Media Day for the A10 Media Day in Brooklyn. How was that experience today for you?
It was good. You know, we had a good day. Had all the coaches in town, and a lot of media present, and a lot of excitement about the start of season.
Yes, indeed. This is you, year 3, leading Dayton under the Flyers. So, what for you, Coach? It feel like it's been year 3 already. It's like we started talking to you like yesterday. Now it's already year 3 for you and your program. So, do you feel like it's year 3 for you already?
Yeah, you know, it has gone by fast, but, you know, every year, Jared, what you try to do is you try to continue to build and continue to, you know, try to put yourself in position where you're getting better at. You feel like we're doing that. So I'm excited about what we're in place and the potential our team has for this year. We got a lot of familiar faces, some good pieces, and some new pieces that we added that we think will make a big difference for us.
Let's start with the pieces you added, Coach. Can you go over some of those new guys you added who going to really help you at our roster this year? Because for listeners who may not have known about the guys you brought in, so who are some of these new guys that you're going to try to work in, integrate into your Dayton system already that you already established here the past 2 years?
Yeah, well, you know, we got a lot of new faces, JR, so it'd be you know, take quite a bit of time to go through each one. We have a freshman actually from the Atlanta area, went to high school down there, Mulai Sissoko, who's a big 6'8" center for us that we added to the team. So we're excited about him. And then, you know, we've also got some guys that set out last year, some transfers. Young man, Rodney Chapman from the Atlanta area as well, went to Lithonia High School. Chase Johnson from Florida, Jordy Shamanga from Nebraska, and Ibby Watson from Michigan to go along with Jerry Matos, who was in our program last year, set out after an injury early in the season. So those will be the new guys that will have an opportunity to contribute this year.
And, Coach, I know it's probably exciting for you over the spring and summer and now the fall practice, thinking about how you integrate these guys into the puzzle pieces here, because I know for coaches that chess game of figuring out how these pieces all work together is something you guys work through all the time. So how exciting has it been for you and your staff to kind of figure out how to work these new guys into your system that you already got established here?
Well, that's what we're working on now. You know, you get about a month of practice before you actually play a game. So we're in I think our 3rd or 4th week here now of preseason practice and just trying to get the pieces all together. You know, we haven't really had our whole team. There are things that have come up, either injuries or different issues that have come up over the course of the summer and throughout the fall here. But I think that'll be one of the things that'll be huge for us, just trying to get everybody in their proper roles and everybody understanding how they can contribute best and how they help each other be the best version of themselves.
Exactly, Coach. That's very key, is getting guys to buy into their roles, because, you know, guys come into a new program, they're expecting, you know, to play right away, expecting certain things. So getting that buy-in is very, very key. And I feel like you do a great job of watching your past interviews on TV or just in print, to how you care about your young men, how you set a standard and a culture. I feel like these young men will be very good for, especially guys here from Georgia who I've known about for a little while here. So I feel like they'll be good for your culture and buy into what you already got going on up there, which is already successful in my opinion.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I think that's, you know, something that, you know, as a man, really, you have to understand every kid comes in with not only the things that you try to accomplish as a team in terms of winning, but they also come with individual goals and aspirations and expectations, right? So when you can match their individual expectations with your expectations and the expectations that the team has in terms of what they'll be having the opportunity to do, I think that's the best situation. You can't necessarily meet those expectations, but I think if there's communication and some buy-in, then it helps the situation become one that benefits everybody.
Now, Coach, I know some schools don't have the luxury of this, but you have to have all your kids on campus starting in July or June for a session this summer to kind of help get that camaraderie building, that buy-in building a little bit to help you so on to be all crash course come October when things are kind of getting ready to ramp up here, like September or October. But you have everybody on campus like in the summertime this year, kind of start that process a little bit.
Yeah, we did. We had everybody here, but like I said, we've had not everybody available. We've had actually, it's just one of those weird situations where at different times we've had guys out for either, a week or two or up to, 6-7 weeks at a time, just with different things that have come up. So we haven't actually had everybody on the court together. So we're hoping by the time we get to the and available and be able to gel and get everybody on the same page in terms of their roles and what everybody provides to our team.
And for your familiar faces, Coach, I'm pretty sure being in year 3 here with the strict conditioning coaches you guys have there, them growing physically into their bodies more, being able to handle the rigors every night more so that when it's a really tough rebound or driving to the hoop with a tough lay up there, they can get through the contact and make the basket. I know there's a lot of guys that you recruit to develop later there.
Yeah, that's going to be a big part of every program is your strength and conditioning program. And, the NCAA allows, 8 weeks in the summer that you can actually work with guys, whether it be weight room and conditioning or actually on the court, where you get a certain amount of time during that 8-week period that you can actually work with them. So, a lot of that time is spent with the strength and try to work on areas that you need to work on, whether it's adding weight or losing weight or adding strength or whatever it may be for each individual guy. So yeah, that's a critical time during the summer months and into the fall.
Yes, indeed. Now, Coach, I see on your schedule here you have the Maui Invitational. So talk to me about that. I cited your guys go out there and compete out there in Maui and compete against those great teams out there. The Invitational that's been so classic for so many years in college basketball.
Obviously, anytime you get a chance to go to Maui as a no matter if you're an athlete or whoever you are, that's always fun, especially during the winter months. So we're excited about that. And you look at the field and you look at the competition that is in that tournament this year. We're excited to get a chance to go out there and compete against some of the best teams in the country. So actually, our first game will be against your local Georgia Bulldogs. There, we open up with them in Maui, and then we'll State or Virginia Tech in the next game. And on the other side of the bracket, you got Kansas and UCLA and BYU and the whole Chaminade. So it's made out to be very, very competitive early season tests for us, and should be fun for our fan base and those that get a chance to watch it on TV or in person.
And also, Coach, it's a big old recruiting brochure for you as well, in my opinion. Playing out there in Maui, you get guys out there seeing Dayton. Let's go there. They're in Maui Invitational now.
Yeah, well, Dayton's actually, been in the tournament, for I think 3 or 4 times in the history of the program. So it's a great opportunity. Last year we were in the Bahamas for that tournament out there, which is a great opportunity. And every year, we're fortunate that we have a fan base that travels extremely well. We get invited to some of these premier events in the preseason or in the non-conference season. So it's a big part of what we do, and we're excited to be a part of it.
And Coach, let's tell you a little quick story here. We announced you'll be on the show with us, Coach, and the responses we got about Dayton, the Dayton Flyers, was just great because the fans knew that you guys recruit down in Atlanta. You have Atlanta guys. They knew you from when you was in the SEC. They knew you from when you was with the Thunder. They knew you from when you was in Alabama. So it's like your program is a national brand, in my opinion, especially down here in Georgia. That we have schools here in our backyard, but we announce you come on the show, we get the same response we would if we had a Kennesaw State or Georgia State coach on the show, which is great to say for me that your guys are really, your staff is doing a great job sowing roots down here. Plus, they know you from your days in the SEC in Florida and in Alabama, so I feel like Atlanta's a good spot for Ohio if Dayton's good for kids. I feel like, Coach, young men here in Georgia should
Well,
seek
I
out.
appreciate that, man. That's good to hear.
Yeah,
that's good to hear. And we've got a fan base all over the country, and a lot of alumni from Dayton are down there in Atlanta, and obviously for myself and our staff, we try to build relationships all over the country, and we've got a lot of guys with some long-term relationships with some of the high school and AAU coaches and programs down there. Certainly, we want to be a factor there in Georgia and throughout the South, as well as in our area up here in the Midwest.
And Coach, I was telling some young men that I spoke to last week about this as well. I said, there's more to it than just Georgia. You can go out and play ball at Dayton or VCU or Rider or wherever you want to go to outside of the state and still get a great education, which is very important, and play for great coaches and become a man. Because I feel like when you go out of state to a school, it allows you to grow up and become a better man. You have a great coach as well to look after you as well. And I talked about you as specifically, Coach, that, hey, playing for a black coach will help you as a young black man because they walked in our shoes. We're coming up in it. They can know your walk, what you got coming up for you. So I feel like young men in Georgia should seek schools like Dayton. So that's why I have you on the show as well to give guys more than just what they see in our state. It's more to it than what we got here. Great schools, of course, but it's more to it than what we got here in our backyard.
Every kid's got to find a place that fits what they're looking for and who they are, and as an athlete, as a student, and as a young man coming into manhood. So I think in today's day and age, you see a lot of kids that will branch out a little bit more maybe than they did back in my days coming up. But I think there's great opportunities all over the country. And certainly we want to try to build as many relationships as we can to give every kid an opportunity to have some options. And we certainly like when Dayton's an option for anybody really, whether it's kids down south or in the East Coast and the Midwest, no matter where they are. But we feel like we've got a good program here, great education, great staff, great resources. So it's always good when kids have choices.
And Coach, that's what I got for is this: the A-10 is always a tough slate. So now, do you tell your kids in non-conference schedule here that with Maui and playing in quality mid-majors here that, hey, we're building towards the A-10 slate, which is going to be tough because in A-10, there's no easy night ever in the A-10. So is that what you tell your kids as you build up to November to December to January till you get in the conference play there?
Well, for us, every piece of our schedule is important, so we try to keep it, as simple as we can. Right now, in October, it's about trying to build some habits and develop some team chemistry, as we approach the season. And then, we pretty much will take it one game at a time, but certainly for us, the non-conference is extremely important to try to build a resume. And we've got some opportunities with the non-conference to put ourselves in position where we're in that conversation heading into A-10 play in terms of having a chance to get an at-large bid. And then once you get in conference play, you're dealing with some great talent, and then that's almost a completely different look for you. So we'll take it one game at a time. The opportunities that we have in the non-conference we're excited about, but certainly there's always something extra when anytime you get a chance to win a league championship.
Coach, I'll say we'll be cheering for you against Georgia. We'll be cheering for you for sure. So we'll be cheering for the Flyers when you play Georgia on this show for sure. So, Coach, definitely have a best of luck to you in Maui and all your long. Hope to talk to you in January or February here. Catch up with you. See how you guys are doing, man.
Anytime, JR. It's always a pleasure.
All right, folks. Anthony Grant on the Bossman Show.
For all your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service.
Hey there, your yard took a real beating this summer. Luckily, Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard has your back. Just feed your grass with Scott's again this fall when the air is cool and the soil is warm. It's the perfect time to give your lawn a boost. If you do, Winter Guard will give your yard the nourishment it needs to help weak, thin grass recover and support root growth, giving you a greener, more resilient lawn both now and next spring. Guaranteed. Grab a bag of Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard today. You'll be back to barbecuing in no time. This is a Scott's Yard.
Hey parents, we all try to be extra careful with our children in the car, but then we get an important call or text. Remember, our children are watching. Make every drive a good example. Be in the zone. Turn off your phone. Visit childrenshospital.vanderbilt.org/BITZ to learn more about our teen driver safety program. Brought to you by Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the Ford Motor Company Fund, and the Allstate Foundation.
Hello, my name is Travis Williams, President and CEO of Academics and Athletic Consultant, focusing on educating and empowering tomorrow's collegiate athletic leaders. My passion is for the education and genuine concern and care for today's student athlete. It's the centerpiece of my life's work. A college education, both in and out of the classroom, is a truly rewarding benefit. For more information on AAC, you can go to www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Once again, www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Academics and Athletic Consulting, or Twitter at Coach TWill24, or Instagram Travis L. Williams 24. Or you can call me at 404-542-6079. Once again, AAC is very proud to partner with J.R. McHenry of the Bossman Radio Show, covering sports and entertainment across the country. Please tune in weekly for informative, entertaining, and expert analysis on today's sports and entertainment topics. Thank you.
All right, folks, back in the Joe the Boss Man show from the show. The coach of South Alabama, the Jaguars out of Sun Belt Conference, Coach Richard Riley with me. Coach Riley, I think down here in the great city of Mobile, man.
Yeah, I'm actually just now leaving practice. They're getting ready to have a T-Pain concert in the arena, man. Mobile's doing great tonight.
Must be homecoming weekend.
It is homecoming weekend, actually. They got T-Pain down here, and there's a lot of excitement. I know a lot of our players are probably going to go to it, and a bunch of my staff. But I think I'm going to go home and watch a little film and then check out some of these NBA games.
I hear that. That's what I'm doing myself. I got a studio here. Watch some NBA games myself. So, Coach, I'll tell you what, man. Can you believe it's already year 2 for you in South Alabama? First year, 17 wins was good for first-year coach at a university. So, how you feeling going into year 2 here already? It seems like it's went by so fast.
It has. It's went by quick. The first season, we won 17 games, which was mostly in 1 year. I think since 2012-13. Obviously, it's not the standard we want to be at, but it was a good start. We set out a lot of guys, a lot of Division I transfers, 3 of them, and we're a little bit shorthanded. So to win 17 last year and kind of make a run in the Sun Belt tournament was a good first year, but it's not the standard for our program, and I think this year we got a chance to climb to some new heights.
And having those guys that you had set out last year join the roster, that's really exciting for you to add some pieces to your puzzle to work with. I know coaches love to play at your chess game with all your pieces there, so you've been excited for you and your staff to be able to see these guys the last few months through the spring, summer, and now here in fall practice as we get ready for November coming up around the corner here.
Yeah, we always utilize the transfer market, and I love to sit a guy out for a year because they get acclimated to your system, and we get to coach them up for a year, and then they step out there and if we do our job like we usually do, then they're a lot better player than the one that we recruited. And we had 3 of them sitting out. Don Coleman was the leading scorer at California, averaged 15 a game out there. He'll be eligible to play this year. Andre Fox was the leading scorer at High Point, averaged 16 a game. And then you got Josh Ianni, who was the starting 5-man for St. Bonaventure on the NCAA tournament team. So we love those 3, and then we got a grad transfer to add to the mix too. Chad Lott from Howard, averaged 14 and 7 there, and was an all-league guy in the MEAC. So we hit that market heavy, and I think it's really going to pay dividends.
And yeah, playing the Sun Belt Conference Sun Belt's a good transfer league for guys who want to do a big grad transfer, want another opportunity, and can play big minutes in a legitimate conference with great competition. Because as I always say, Coach, if you put out good film, the scouts will find you. You'll be playing in the NBA, the G League, or overseas somewhere. If you put in the work in your years in college to develop your game and turn into a man on the court, so they can sign you, you can continue your career and make money for your family going forward.
Yeah, I think everybody's got dreams of being a professional at some level. Obviously, NBA is the ultimate dream for most guys, but there's a huge market overseas. And, in order to do that, you've got to be productive. And you get transfers for different reasons. Sometimes you get them from the high major level where it just hadn't worked out. It could be production. It could be just style of play, your coaching change, whatever it may be. And then a new trend is getting some guys, for us, we're, in a good mid-major league, getting some guys in some of those low major leagues that want to transfer up, but they want to make sure they go somewhere not too high. And we've been able to utilize both those things, and we've done really, really well with transfers at South Alabama so far, and at Nicholls State. That was kind of how we brought that program up too.
Now, Coach, coming into the offseason, did you try to prioritize getting guys more stronger and to their games in the offseason in your workouts? I know you're big on development of your players. So what did you kind of focus on to make sure the guys you're returning get stronger with the strength coaches, work on their shots? What was kind of your plan with the guys you had coming back as you prepared for the season here?
Yeah, everything with us is individualized. We try to target guys' weaknesses and try to build those up. So some guys need to put on some added muscle and add some explosion to their game, and then some guys need to trim down. I think everybody's a little bit different. And then on the court, I think we do a great job of honing in on guys' skill sets and what they need to improve on, and not only from a basketball standpoint, with the ball in your hands, but a mental standpoint. Some guys have different mental triggers that affect their play, can get them down and get them negative, and we try to also hone in on those things and help guys mentally, because the game is so much mental, and I think that gets overlooked sometimes.
Exactly, because I feel like if you can mentally see it, when you're actually on the court in action, it'll be easier for you if you already mentally have those, I call them those mental reps per se. If you have those in your head, it's easier when you're on the court to execute in the second half or it's a tough game on the road. You've done this before. It's easy to me. I'm prepared. I can get this done.
Yeah, no question. We really, really try to teach our guys to conquer adversity when it hits, because almost every game there's going to be some adversity, whether a team goes on a scoring run or you get a couple bad calls that you feel like and you get in foul trouble. You just got to learn how to handle that. And we try to help our guys as much as possible, so when that adversity hits, they're prepared to handle it and still be successful.
Yes, indeed. And, Coach, I know you guys got a great non-conference schedule I see here, man. You got Auburn, Southern Miss with Jay Ladner, Bruce Pearl, Northeastern with Bill Cohen there, Richmond as well. So playing these tough quality matchups you got out of non-conference can only help you when it comes time for that Sun Belt play, which is going to be very, very tough.
Yeah, I think our non-conference schedule sets up really well to get us prepared for the Sun Belt. We open up those 3 games at home with Pikeville, who's number 5 in the country in the IA, and then you got Southern Miss, who's an old-time rival of South Alabama, and Jay will certainly have them ready to play. And then the headliner is obviously Auburn coming to their place at the Mitchell Center, coming off a Final Four. And I think it's never could. I think we could completely sell it out. I don't know that it's ever been completely sold out for a basketball game, and I think that has a great opportunity to do that. And then you go on down through our schedule. The tournament down at Gulf Coast is tremendous. We open up with Northeastern, who went to the NCAA tournament last year, And you got a lot of teams that are favored to win their league in early publications. We're favored to win ours in a lot of publications. Wright State is favored to win the Horizon. Murray State favored to win the Ohio Valley in a lot of them. And then you got other teams like Drake, LaSalle, Weber State. It's a really, really good tournament. And then we kind of conclude our non-con with a trip to Richmond. I think Richmond's going to be drastically improved. They're healthy now, got a lot of key returners back, and it's going to be a really challenging non-con slate. So I feel like with those, and we got another road game at Chattanooga who brought in a lot of transfers. I think Lamont and those guys are going to be much better. So it's a challenging non-con schedule, and we needed to do that because the Sun Belt is a tough league, and we got to get ourselves prepared.
And I know you love South Alabama because how the conference is set up, you go from pretty much Texas, down through the Georgia Southern, and like I say, you got South Alabama. You go up the coast a little bit there, as Coastal Carolina, so you can recruit the whole South region pretty much in the Sun Belt Conference, which helps you when you're trying to target a transfer or a high school senior or a JUCO guy because the conference has visibility pretty much throughout the whole southeastern part of the United States there.
It does. It gives a lot of our guys a chance to get at least somewhere close to home so their families can see them play. And, you go from Atlanta all the way down into deep Texas and then up around the Carolinas with App State and Coastal, into Louisiana with Lafayette and Monroe. It's spread out pretty good, but, geographically it really makes sense for where we recruit. So I agree. It's certainly a good league for us.
Now, Coach Riley, I want to ask you this now. When you go to a new conference like you are, the Sun Belt Conference, for scouting, your first time through the league, now, they didn't really know about your team, how your style of play per se. You didn't really know those teams very well. So, did you kind of go back and scout the team some more in the league, kind of figure out what they do a little bit better coming into year two? Now, knowing kind of, okay, I know what this coach does, what they run with this guy. I know when you come into a new league, it's all different. So, you want to trial and error for a while there.
Yeah, it helps to be going into year two now that we've been through one season in the Sun Belt. And, we've got some innovative coaches in our league. I think there's some really, really good ball coaches. I think it's underappreciated to a certain extent. And, we got some guys that there's some tough preps in our league because of the coaching. And there's also, really good talent. They're really good. It's kind of an older league. A lot of guys recruit some transfers and junior college guys. It's an older league. So it's kind of fluctuating that way from a personnel standpoint. But we certainly have a better feel going into year two than we did year one. I think everybody's year one is tough because they haven't played those guys. In the Southern Conference, we only played a couple of the schools that are in the Sun Belt. So we should have a better feel and a better understanding of kind of what's going on this year.
Yes, indeed. Coach Riley, I'll tell you what, man, looking forward to your team. I wish Georgia State, you guys do play here, thank God, this year, on the 30th of January next year. So I'm glad that they got you on the home for playing Georgia State this year at home this year. We can definitely catch up when you come to town, man. But I'll definitely catch up with you before then, of course. But, man, I told you off there, man, I love your time, Mobile. It's a great city. I hope kids check you guys out and come down there and play for you because it's a great time to be in. I enjoyed it. I was there for 3 days. I enjoyed it. I didn't have one problem while I was there. Good food and good people.
Yeah, there's no question. It's a special place, and we want to get you down here again soon. And then when we get to Atlanta, man, look us up and check us out against Georgia State.
I sure will, Coach Riley. Hey, have a good one. Hope you feel better, brother. Thank you for doing this, even though you're sick, man.
Thank you, brother. Great to talk to you.
All right, it's Richard Riley on the Bossman Show.
Hello, my name is Travis Williams, President and CEO of Academics and Athletic Consulting, focusing on educating and empowering tomorrow's collegiate athletic leaders. My passion is for the education and genuine concern and care for today's student athlete. It's the centerpiece of my life's work. A college education, both in and out of the classroom, is a truly rewarding benefit. For more information on AAC, you can go to www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Once again, www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Academics and Athletic Consulting or Twitter at Coach T Will 24 or Instagram Travis L. Williams 24. Or you can call me at 404-542-6079. Once again, AAC is very proud to partner with J.R. McHenry of the Bossman Radio Show, covering sports and entertainment across the country. Please tune in weekly for informative, entertaining, and expert analysis on today's sports and entertainment topics. Thank you.